Hello everyone, welcome to the IT Learn Live project. This is the first time where we are doing all related technologies at one time. So it's going to be pretty interesting how we go about. This is the first day. So what we will do as part of the session is we will do a quick overview on the orientation. So we'll talk about what we went through the orientation. Then we'll talk about the testing QA activities. All right. When I say QA activities, QA live project activities. So I'm calling this as a live project team. I don't think I should call it as QA live project or anything, just so that it's not misleading to anyone. Do note there'll be multiple teams. So as part of this will be team division. How do we divide the teams and how we go about? Most importantly, the application and test. I'm going to give you an overview and I will also walk you through the requirements. So when we're doing this, it's going to take some time as to how we go about executing each and everything. So a lot of notes that I'll keep discussing as we go along, team, is number one thing is treat this as important as a real project because it is a real application and there's a real need. Okay, and it is critical that we test it out very carefully. Involve as much as you can because this experience that you will have with the live project team will be something that you can carry forward and showcase very easily in two places. One, when you go for an interview, you can talk about exactly what you did in this project. Second is when you actually start working in a project environment, you will notice that a lot of similarities and a known feeling. You will not feel like a total stranger or a deer in front of headlights. So you'll be much more organized about it. All right. Now, when I say involve as much as you can from a time effort standpoint, and don't hesitate to experiment. All right. Now, when I say don't hesitate to experiment is think a little bit beyond what is already provided to you. Let's say you're good in manual testing. Try to do it with a test management tool like anyone. Let us say you're good in Selenium. Try to do it with advanced framework concepts. So go a little bit more advanced. So what team you will fit and all that we will discuss slowly. Okay. So I'll talk about the application and the test overview and requirements, and I'll talk about the expectations, primarily the scope, expectations, timeline. All right. Anything else you want to hear today, team? Cause do note that from next session, the teams will be presenting IT Learn team primary role will be reviewing and guiding. That is what we will do, team. So let's start with the first one. Unless anyone else has a point, please put it in a chat that you think if you're going to cover that today or not. But let's start with what we did in orientation. Very quick look at it, maybe 2-3 minutes. So almost about 10 days back, we had this. The concept is very simple, that we want you to understand the role of a QA engineer is much more than just the testing portion. You need to get that experience to be able to really apply for jobs. Alone sample app. What is the third point? Did I write this? I'm trying to read my own document. What is this? Alone sample app, very little changes in the comfort zone, joining the gym and taking personal training. Oh, okay, okay. It's like you're not working alone anymore. You're working with a team. And when you're doing it, you're always in your comfort zone. So in this case, when you work with a team, you'll be able to really earn that kind of experience that you need. So we're talking about real projects, like I was mentioning. We spoke about how come we get access to such applications to test. A lot of advantages that we're talking about. Confidence is one. how you can face real life challenges, how you interact with different people, different roles, how you come out of situations where you're stuck and you get your hands dirty on coding, be it Selenium developers or on tools for manual testers. So all of this becomes very important team. Okay. And once you're fitting it in, um, as to how the entire advantage of such a live project is going to mean to you. And I'm assuming most of you are already part of our program. So there's no one who's newly evaluating. Let's look at that. Um, from a training perspective, we said that we cover a lot of tools and we go from basic manual to advanced automation. Practice projects is what we train and what we ask you to do as assignments. For a live project is where you're part of, where you're trying to execute something which is a very critical and important requirement. So the team division and so on, I'll talk a little bit more. The primary difference with the new model is we are combining all the different teams into one. So for the same application under test, part of the scope is to do manual and automation testing. Okay. So each team can choose, or teams will be basically divided into manual plus some test management like ALM or Jira. All right. Then there will be a AnyAuth only team who use AnyAuth. Then there'll be Selenium team who will try and automate the whole thing using Selenium. And there'll be HP UFT. Okay, so these are the teams, and yes, mobile app testing team. Now the good thing is when it comes to mobile app testing, though you're not trained on it, I will tell you exactly what I expect. Each of you will try and execute the same on your cell phones, on your devices. Okay. Now, the good part is we are okay, when I come to the application, I'll talk about that. So let's go back to the orientation and see what else did we cover. So we said there'll be different teams. That's exactly what we said. And I will talk about the application under test. So here we started speaking about the application under testing. So a lot of information is here. Let's copy this and then expand from here. So let's see what we already have mentioned, team, and then we can talk about it. So here it is, AUT overview, project phases for the application under test. The application under test, that, or rather what we need to be testing, is called just done. All right. The overview is it's a simple task and resource manager. It will work on mobile and web. We're trying to build for all the app platforms if possible. UX must be seamless between platforms is an important criteria in terms of how a user operates it. It's like a Google Map team. Touch operations, a lot to do with drag and drop. Now, requirement, I said, if you remember, that I'm working on it with the Verkasa team, and I want to be able to build that up out here and show you what exactly are the in-depth requirements. Now, as part of this, we are looking at developing a prototype team. The prototype is the main thing that we're focusing on right now for this application, and we will have to start at the very beginning. So the most important aspect here is we know the application under test and the current stage of the application. Let me write it somewhere so we know current state. Do anyone know what is the current status of the application called Just Done that we're talking about? It is at the very beginning, all right, more like a concept stage. So from an idea, it moved to a concept, and we are right now working towards gathering the requirements. All right. Now, Today's session, most of it, we will focus on the application. So it is your opportunity to get a good idea on what the application will be and what kind of a scope of testing will be there for you. Now, I spoke a little bit about team division and a little bit about the live project activities. Any further questions before I go forward and focus fully in terms of the application? What is the requirement? Where are we? What is expected out of you? So I will talk about expectations, team. All right. There are requirements. So someone has to play the role of a BA. There's no question about it. There is test suite preparation. There's no question. So manual testing or any auth you could use. Automation testing is there for this. Selenium, HP, UFT are the primary things. Functional automation more can be used for this. And for mobile app testing, I think we can use mostly manual, device based, and maybe I don't know how much we'll use APM. I don't know. Okay. So expectations are you will be able to participate in any of them depending on your comfort level. So we are at the very beginning. So we need to start with analyzing the requirements, documenting them correctly, documenting the requirements into user stories or use cases, the way we can say it. All right. Now, this is going to be an extremely important project team. And for this, as of now, I am the owner of the project. When I say owner, I own as to what should be happening next and so on. There are clients in terms of who is interested and who is working on this apart from me, but from a contact person, it is me. All right. And anything that you have will have to go through me in terms of finally understanding if there's any question on the scope and so on. The good thing is with each of you working onto it, it is really gonna shape up into a great project. Now, I have a few questions that I thought I'm gonna put together to ask you. I'm gonna take a few minutes to do that. Do you want to put up any questions that you have so far, team, that I can answer before I talk about the application? I'm assuming you already know how typical live project works. If not, you could talk to one of our team members. We will guide you further, or just watch the orientation. So team, there are a few questions. I'm going to quickly copy and put it. So some are very common, and so that's why I thought, let me put them here. Can we be in two teams, manual and automation? The answer is simple. Absolutely yes. Okay. Answer is absolutely yes. But no more than two teams. Okay. And even if you are not too confident about it, that is fine. There was another question which is similar. I'm just going to still put that question. Can I join two projects, Selenium and manual? Answer is same as the above. Okay. All right. Now what else is there? Let's see. So I'm taking a few more questions, team. I'm not trained in Selenium, but can I do project in Selenium? If you're not trained in Selenium, you cannot do a project in Selenium. But then, because see, some learning has to be there. We have to, but you can be maybe a participant in it, assisting them learning through it. Yes, that is possible. So I would put this a little differently, and I will say answer is yes, if you have the right skill or want to be a helpful team member. All right. Um, because I'm attending two class. One is Selenium, another is QA manual. Sure, I understand. You said teams will be divided manual. Okay, let me see if this question is something that all of you would want to see as well. You said teams will be divided manual, HPLM, and Jira. So my question is, we download HPLM, but before finish this project, my license will be expired. Would you give any suggestion on that? Okay, what will be my suggestion on this? Let's see. No clue. You need to find a solution with your team members. Now, honestly, I have no clue about this. It has to be someone else in the IT Learn team from a technical side who can answer this. But then this is a common thing that you'll observe that will come across a lot of times within your discussions team. One of the primary recommendations is don't depend on us for help. Go try and find your own help. That is one of the most important aspects that you will learn as part of this live project. You will become self-reliant. You know exactly how to learn what at what time. Okay, so I wrote my answer, but then I explained it a little bit more in depth. Uh, do we have to start creating test script? Say for there's one question from Divya also. This do we have to start creating test script, say for automation, once the requirement is ready, or do we have to wait for the application development? I like this question. Okay, so I'll tell you why I like this question, team, is because application is not ready yet. So what will we do as test engineers? Totally yes. Okay, write the code before the app is ready. That's what we need to do. I want to join in Selenium Advanced. Please suggest if this session covers that. Answer. Who can answer for me, team? Anyone can answer this question? I want to join in Selenium Advanced. Please suggest if the session covers that. I'm not taking names of anyone, but I'm just putting the questions up. Everyone. Does the sessions cover that, team? No. It is not a training. It is a project. All right. It is a project that you can put on your resume. So please always remember that, team. If you're going to use HPALM, will you provide access or have to use the trial version? Okay, it's the same question again. I think with HP, we have the issue with the trial versions. My answer is again the same. You need to help others with a solution. I don't know what the solution is, but sure, we will find one. I have knowledge on Selenium, but not perfect. I need a live project to do. Sure. Then that's what we're doing. Okay, and you also said I need a live project to do. So not being perfect is okay, team. That's my answer. You will become perfect by end of the project. When I say end, I'm not saying in 4 weeks, team. More like 2 months, 2 to 3 months. This project will go on. It is how long you want to work and gain the knowledge is in your hand. The few more questions, I'm assuming that most of the answers are common and are important for everyone to know. So that's why I'm doing this. Quick question. Where would there be live processions during Thanksgiving week? Yes, thank you for repeating the question. I appreciate that. So here's the other question. So there are Thanksgiving holidays and a lot of other holidays will keep coming our way, team. So there's an easy solution. We are typically off for holidays. All right. This includes weekends, vacations, long weekends, any kind of a, event, major event. Okay. Now you can do this project from anywhere. All right. Just work with your team on this thing. Work and coordinate. Come on, don't type wrong. Your team. All right. Are we good with the questions? Can we move on with the application demo? Is it demo project or project that is going live? Good question. Okay, good question because I have an answer. All right. So the answer for this is it is going to go live. All right. So can we get the contact of our team members? Yes, absolutely. You'll get the contacts of your team members. You'll be interacting with them directly. So I'm going to take this question too. So I'm assuming no more questions, team, after this. I mean, I'm ready to spend more time answering it, but our focus today should be more in terms of, come on, the application. So can we get the contact of our team members? Okay. Yes. And use it wisely. That's it. That's all I can say. Hi, Karthik, Mohan here. I cannot hear. Kirti cannot hear. I don't know. Okay. Playing yesterday mobile app videos. Okay. All right, Mohan, welcome. Team. So if we're good, let's continue with the application and test, shall we? Now, I'm going to ask a quick question. And maybe I should do it as a poll, team. So if you can bear with me for a quick minute, I'm going to do this. See if there's a poll question there. Yeah, this I think is relevant question. Just very quick one, team. I won't stress it too long. Mohan, your question on the payment and details of account details and all that. Can you please take it up with the sales team on the email? They'll be able to assist you. I wouldn't do it online here now. So team, there's a poll up on your screen. Simple question. Are you already a member of Selenium, JPact or any other course with ITlearn or not yet? So I just want to know, because this is day one, I just want to see how many audience. Can everyone kindly vote in on your screen, please? I've got about 60% votes in, 61. We're waiting for a few others and then we'll close. Even if you're part of any training with ITlearn, just want to know how many are there. All right, team, I'm going to close the votes in a few seconds, so please kindly fill this up. All right, not a great participation, but 77% of you voted. So 63% of you are already yes, the remaining 21% no, 17% not yet, but planning. You're somewhere close. So team, for those of you who are in the area of planning to and so on, do it quickly if you want to be part of this project. This is going to move very quick. All right, so a couple of spell errors here. Let me quickly fix it. At least when we see this, I don't know why this is. All right, now let's talk about the application. Briefly, we discussed what the application does, right? Now, how many of you have a good idea about what this application does in terms of functionality? Saqib, did you already put the document in the all live projects? Oh, great.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Great. Thank you. So team, just choose what technology you want in the team out here in the column C that you see. I'm going to put this link up for all of you so you can start accessing. Let me get a shareable link that you can edit. You don't have to fill your email or phone number right away, team. Everything else, if you fill in, it'll help out. Okay. So while you're doing that, the reason I need to be able to start looking at different members and the teams is it becomes important for us to know exactly how we divide things. So you can do it while the session is going on. I'm not gonna push it too hard, but let's talk about this application, what it does and what we're expecting it to do. The name, like it suggests, is Just Done. It is a tool that primarily helps us accomplishing some basic tasks that we face every day in a much more efficient way. The concept is very simple. And to do this, let me use some diagrams, team. That will give you a better idea. I'm going to try paint, but this paint will not. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to try and explain it in with some examples that you can easily relate with, team. Okay. Now, what happened to this? Okay. Anytime if you look at team, you can divide what we do in our life into two categories. The first is the tasks that we perform, and the second are the resources that we have. Right from the time we're born, it is always about what is around us that keeps shaping us. Tasks are what we do on a daily basis. Okay. The concept that these tasks, let's say that we represent tasks in a box, and resources, let's say we put it into an oval, and try and understand how this concept works and how our life in general works, and then look at an app that has a functionality to cater to this. So let's say if let's take any example, team, that we can think of that we can all relate with. Now, one of the things that I have to do is I need to create a list of participants, right? That is a task, team. So my task is to create a list of participants. Whoever is there in the live project, I want to know the participants. That is my task, team. Now, to do this task, what would I do? I would say, hey, Saqib, can you help me? Saqib is a human resource, is a person who will be able to assist. Now, Saqib had to do certain other tasks to accomplish this. But then what did I do? I also reached out to the current live audience. And in this live audience, we have, I think, 30 plus. Each of you are present. The same task using go to webinar, I could share. So to get each of you to fill the list of the live project participants, there are so many operations that happen. And then what you had to do, each of you had to access something called as a Google Drive where the file is. Right, team? Looks like there's one person who cannot hear. Give me 1 second. I'll quickly try and help her out. Or him, I'm not sure. Okay, I just put it. Thank you. Now, there is a Google Drive. That means that this Google Drive, all of you also have to access. So if you look at this map, there is a lot of links between what Saqib is doing, what I am doing, and where am I? I am there somewhere here. Okay, I am another resource, and that is my task. There's a lot of interaction of many resources and series of tasks to accomplish something. And if we can somehow get a better visibility of this, that is great. Now, I want to also know what are the other tasks that are there with Saqib in a given day. I may want to know that, hey, you know what, out of these team members who are already there as part of Anyot, Peach, or something like that. So there are multiple combinations of views that you want to achieve. You want to see if I can view this, I can view that, and so on. In our current world, there are a lot of applications that are doing this team, are helping us better manage our tasks, are helping us to better achieve what we want. Can you name a few applications that have made our life easy that you use regularly? It could be for a personal activity or a professional one, but you felt that yes, that application made your life better. What could that be, team? Gmail, yeah, absolutely. Why not? Great application. WhatsApp, yeah, great. Eclipse, Amazon, cool. Maps, Google Maps or other maps, OneNote, Evernote, I don't know if the same thing. Slick Deals, okay. I've not heard about that. Google Keep, that's amazing. That's something that I've just discovered today. Looks interesting. The nice concepts. FaceTime. What else, team? IT11. Thank you. All right, that's an app too. Yeah. So there's so many applications we use, right? E-news, and we also use Trello. Now, if you notice, depending on, and we use Skype, correct? And we use a phone regularly, smartphone. Use your system, PC, laptop, whatever it is. So much. There's a plenty of things that we, and not necessarily everything interacts with each other, though they say that we have XML and so on. And can you figure out, team, out of this list that is there, how many have you used today? Out of these applications, maybe it's easier for me to figure out. I can count how many I've not used today. E is what? Eclipse. Okay, almost today. Yeah. I'm just counting myself. A is Amazon. M is Maps. One. Maybe two or three things I didn't use today. Everything else, we tend to use it multiple times, frequently, right? So these are all tasks as well. Now, what happens for me is, as an individual, all right, this is me. As an individual, I have tasks that are very personal related. They relate with my family, maybe my health, all right, or and finances, maybe it's very personal. And there's work related, or I can say career related. Okay, so let's say professional. It is all about how we go about doing our tasks and activities with our co-workers, with the people we work with. And then there's private things that that we want to keep, maybe some memories, photographs, or confidential information like your social security numbers and details like that, and that becomes more like private. So at any time you can try and divide them into different categories. Is it a public, it's more of a public, sorry, a personal task? Is it a professional task, or is it a private task? All right. So when I have to execute something and I know that there are so many ways I can do this, is there a better way to do it? Now, the pain which you need to understand and maybe then relate with is, if I need to communicate to, let's say, a simple example, all right? Uh, I am unable to pick up my kid from school today. Okay. Now, to do that one task, arrange for my daughter's pickup, I will need to call my wife, check, then reach out to few friends and see, or see if the school can hold them for a little while. Multiple options that we try and see. Correct? And once at during that, from the time, let's say you have to pick up at 2:30 p.m. From the time you realize, let's say it's at noon, 12 p.m. From 12 p.m. to 2:30 p.m., your wife and maybe nanny or others are still worried about what is happening. There are no updates to tasks. There are no visibility to tasks. That happens easily. Yes, we use WhatsApp. Yes, I use text. Yes, I use a phone to communicate. But a lot of these activities that we do are not put correctly together. Now, Just Done is a very simple task and resource manager. What it does, and here is how the application flow will be, team. So look at the flow. Maybe I'll change the colors a little bit so it'll be easy for you to relate. So what does Just Done do primarily? So let me say that this is Just Done. All right. The first and foremost thing is it helps for the user registration. Okay. And user registration typically has everything. It has sign up, it has sign in, it has, membership area, profile, all those details will be there in the user registration. Simple, just like any other application. Once the user is registered, what he or she does is starts to fill in any type of a profile information that he or she feels. Then comes to start putting tasks. Okay. And resources. Which comes first, we don't know. When we talk about tasks, we enter details about a task as to what we need to do. So there'll be like a total form. The importance of it, the urgency of it, who are involved in it, who should be notified for it, and if there is any date, updates, comments, document. Just like how we see in this tool. Very similar. A task can be considered more like a card that we see in Trello, team. I'm assuming every one of you have been exposed to Trello. If not, as part of the live project, there will be members who will be able to assist you on it. Okay. Now, Trello helps us do some good project management overall. It helps us to interact with a team and do delivery of it. Okay, delivery of things. So now I'm having to log into Trello, totally different UI and feel that it has, and I want to create a new board. I don't think there's a board yet for Just Done. Is there a board, Sakib? Maybe they created. No, right? Good. I'm going to create a quick board and call this as Just Done. Now team. Okay, I have to select the team. Do I have to select the team? I don't have to select the team. It's a new team. Why does it say that? None. None is okay? Will be private. Okay, that's fine for now. That's good. Just done. Once you start sharing it, then. All right. Now, every requirement that we can put here. Anyone in the team who has not worked with Trello earlier, can you please mention? Now, a simple example is something like this, where we have requirements that are documented. They have every detail of it, and we know exactly what is happening with it. For those of you who are not sure of what Trello does, it's a simple task management within a team. So working with Trello will make you understand Just Done also easily as to what the application is. Now, in this application that we're talking about, we want to ensure that the tasks are able to get created easily using a web form, and then resources are also being able to get added. Now, any questions so far? What it does and the potential of it is a little bit more complex topic, so I'm not trying to indulge too much into it right away, team. I'm kind of taking it easy. I'm putting it more in terms of functional expectations. So if you break it down, and then let's put it here. Where are we? Come on. Functional requirements for Just Done. Now, as I said, the overall scope can be divided into five modules. One is user registration, not registration, I'll say user management. Okay. The next is task management. Resource management. That means is the size of this team. Resource management. View/dashboard management. This is an important feature as well, team. And then finally, any kind of profile settings and all that can be done here. I'll leave the fifth one. So like I said, user management is the basic sign up, login, forgot password, maybe invite new resources. So features like this. From a task management, what would typically be? It will be like a web form where the user fills in details about a task. What kind of a task are we looking at, team? So the first thing will be something like a category. We want to say if it is personal, if it is professional, or if it is a private task, if they want to keep it with themselves. That's kind of how they're doing it. Then comes any resources that are associated with the task. Like for sometimes, to accomplish a task, you need access to, let's say, a machine, a hardware also. Okay, it could be a car, it could be a computer, or it could be a training room. So you need access to it to be able to conduct that meeting with everyone, right? So you look at how it's matching. So resources have to get associated with the task. So there are who else will help in the task and so on. Then there can be subtasks for each task, and that can keep going on. There is the creation details like date, by, using in the sense what operating system, technology, etc. And there is a flag of importance like yes, no, urgent like yes, no, location based, has that got to do with a specific location, all right, and so on. Now, what will happen is, in a typical world, let us say I need to go shopping, we put things onto post-it, or I write it on my phone in a message, right? And then when I want to edit to it, I don't know that which shop I wrote it. So tasks get easily viewed based on this. Now, when we talk about resource management, the first resource is any human or other resource. Basically becomes non-tasks here. I hope the concept is very simple, team. There's no confusion in it, right? It's simple task management. I am Karthik. I have 10 tasks that I want to accomplish today. I will put it. Some tasks require some people and other assistants. I will write down who it requires. That is what it is. Okay. Now, this is resource management. Any human or other resource. Okay, no task. Any human or other resource, not task. Okay. So what details are there? If it is first thing again is category. Maybe you want to quickly decide human or not. Based on that, there are fields. For human, there will be specific fields like name fields. Name fields will have first, last, common name, etc. Okay, and then there are details like phone details. We can talk about mobile, land, and so on. So for human, then there's email, then there's address details. So this is what we go about filling. So when I register and I'm using the app, I also want to fill the details about people around me that I interact regularly with, because it will make my task management simple and easy. Now for other resources, you can keep it more custom. All right, we don't know if it's a car, there's specific details. If there's a computer, there's specific details. If there's a flight that is linked with a travel itinerary as part of task, completely different details. So we can keep it custom, but humans, we know it follows a specific standard. So a user is primarily able to, I think with this, do I need to explicitly mention, team, that user can add, edit, view, and change tasks and so on? There's also maybe owner of the task. Now, a user can primarily do everything in user management. He or she can do task management, resource management, and can do something called as view. View, what happens is view tasks based on what importance, urgent, with a specific person. Let's say you happen to bump into someone, okay, but then there was something you wrote in this app long back. You quickly refer it, and that, hey, you know what, I wanted to talk to you about, you went somewhere, and I wanted your feedback on how that specific company is. Things like that. You want to know around you, your location, and you're suddenly traveling somewhere. You know that there's free time, and there's some tasks that you could look at which are locally associated, be able to do that. So this view and dashboard become very easy. I wake up in the day and I see, boss, what is the most important urgent task for the day? I want to look at it. Right now what happens, I have to look at my WhatsApp, I have to look at Skype, my emails, a lot of places. We're not saying that this tool will replace any of the existing applications or social media that we use. This tool will make task and resource management at a human level a little bit more easy. So you're able to view tasks on this. You're able to view tasks around a specific person or a resource, okay, around your location. Or you can look at tasks that are randomly distributed. Not random. And you know what? These concepts are irrelevant right now. Now, this is the requirement team. Does it look complex? Now, for task management, we also need things like reminder. And how does the reminder work? Maybe comments. So small things like this will keep coming up, team. What will require? Uh, Maybe, social or links, attachments, links that maybe may have. So team, there are two questions that I have. Can I request everyone to answer? And I don't have to use a poll then. Did you understand the core concept of Just Done as an app, what it is trying to do? How will it achieve it? Not yet. Like a UI and workflow have not shown. Did you get the concept of Just Done? It's saying it will happen, easily manage tasks and resources. Okay, next question is, do you think this looks like a simple application? Okay, some of you are filling in details. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. So a lot of you are filling in courses there. Country. So most of you in the US right now. Okay, that's good. That's a good sheet. Thank you, Sakib. Okay, looks simple, and it is simple, team. There's no complexity to it. Now, who in this audience are sure to be part of this project? Can you name yourself, please? I just want to be able to recognize those names. Who has already made a decision that this is a project that I want to actively participate in? Be it manual testing or Selenium or whatever. Just say me in the chat, enough for me, team. Some of you who are not sure, that's fine. Now, out of this group who are very actively interested, Sunita, I hear your question. I want to participate but don't have much knowledge on this. I think you should try it or just speak to one of our team members. They'll guide you on it. Okay. Now, who has some bandwidth in this team who can act as a coordinator with the others? Who can help coordinate? If you're already someone who's coordinating in Peach, please do not nominate yourself right now. One person who's two or three people who are able to coordinate for everything. Anyone who wants to nominate themselves? Yes, we'll get all the documentation for today's class. Okay, so one nomination. All right. The reason I wanted to, so I saw two names coming in. Thank you. I wanted to do this is the requirements that we have now, we'll have to start putting them in Trello. Okay. So, Sakib, this personal boards, the two boards, is it just done? Okay, maybe here. Sakib, I think what will help is taking maybe one requirement and showing how the users can start putting. Now, in terms of the phases of the project team that we were talking about, right? Let me talk about this.
Okay, Karthik.
Yeah, if you show them how we can create the different, first we'll have to create the boards that we have within the boards, the groups, and then create some cards in the list, and then for one or two, just show some good documentation of user story, please. Now, since this application is at the very beginning, we are right now. So how does this application flow, team? Any application development? I'm sure most of you will have a app development life cycle. This is important. I'll quickly mention. I'm sure most of you will agree. If I miss something, let me know. It all starts with a pain, team. And the pain becomes an idea that, hey, why don't we do something about this? All right. then the idea kind of becomes like a concept that I want it like this. Based on the concept, some kind of wireframes are developed. Wireframes basically give some kind of a UI UX experience on how the application must look. While that is being done, there we start doing the detailed requirements. And once the requirements have come in, that is when we can get into design, coding, and what comes after coding, team? What's there? For me, I don't think testing comes after coding. It is live after that. While the coding is being done, we know we are already preparing for everything. I'm not even worried about unit testing or testing. So our testing activities have to go very strongly in a parallel way. Right now, what is achieved, we are somewhere here, team, till about this portion of requirements. I don't think we have gone into depth. Once Sakib puts in a little bit more effort with all of you on Trello in the next session, then we will reach about half of the requirements. While the requirements are being built, the design, coding, and all these things can go on. Now, the team in India will also be very keen to develop the requirements. When I say team in India, my team, which is part of this project development, because there are web developers and mobile app developers who are involved into it. There's almost about 5 to 6 people minimum full time will work on this prototype team. As part of this development, we are somewhere in the between. So one thing is, will you assist in the requirement gathering? So for those of you who want to do a lot more with manual testing and so on, I would strongly recommend for you to be part of the team, which will also do the business analysis. So anyone who said that, yes, I would like to do documentation and so on in a very strong manner, should definitely focus on it, please. All right. Let's see, what else did I have to share with you all? Timeline, yeah. The timeline is here. The app development lifecycle is just a simple message as to what we are, what is the approach typically and where we are. So testing, please don't think is coming right after coding. We will start it right here. As the requirements are being built, we'll start preparing our tests. Okay. And as we're getting closer to design and coding, you are in a position to start testing activities. Actually, you know what? I can't deny it. The actual testing will come here. Only the application is ready, though the preparation is being done earlier. Our testing will happen, core part of it, and then bug fixing will happen and retesting and so on. Okay, so third week, what is this launch pre-Christmas, third week of December? Okay, so timeline, this is correct, team. We want to launch by third week of December, which is about 1.5 months. And this is the first prototype. For the prototype, they want a functional model that will cater to all these requirements that we spoke about. Okay, the UI UX is not of a very high significance, though it is critical. It should be neat, simple, clear, not much to do with graphics or logos. That is not required. That's about the application. That's the plan. Now with the prototype, if we are looking at such a short development timeline, which is hardly how many, 6 weeks, 5 weeks? Yeah, 5-6 weeks, team, 6 weeks. That is what we're looking at. Okay, third week of November, the actual QA will start. For those of you who are not sure about Trello too much, don't worry. The basics we will definitely get you acquainted with. But team, do note, you have to be part of our training program to be part of live project. It cannot be direct a live project. Just a quick clarification for those of you who are here for the first time. Any other questions, team? I'm good and almost done at my end. When we meet in the next session, primarily what we'll be focusing on, all right, one, we'll look at the requirements progress that we will do at any given point, Sakib demo on Trello that we will work on. Then we will look at the teams and the schedule of our meetings. We will look at that too. Will we have stand-up meeting? So stand-up meeting, team, this is another question. I'll better put in FAQs. Will we have stand-up meeting? Yes, daily with your team, twice a week along with everyone else. All right, that is what we will do as stand-up meetings. You will have daily within your teams. What is the next one? I don't know much about Trello. Is it okay? Like I said, absolutely fine. Easy to learn. We will give a demo. What's next? Is any Selenium training going to start this month? I don't think there's a live training starting this month, but you can start with the videos and then look for the December batch that we'll announce maybe in a day or two. When is the next session on this? 13th November. I don't know the next session, team. I'll have the team put it on the calendar, so it'll be there coming to you in the GoToWebinar. What are the prerequisites before live project starts? To which videos should we watch? Prerequisites. Okay. It depends on your team. If you're joining manual testing, then we expect you to have gone through the manual testing training. Same with Selenium and so on. Are there tools like JustDone? What makes this tool different from other tools in the market? Will the user be able to assign hours on each task for a resource? Will there be a time management tool? Wow, great questions. So each of this is a question by itself. I'll quickly answer right here, team. I'll not put it in the new one. Answer is, are the tools? Oh yes, thousands, if not dozens, if not millions. I would say hundreds at least. What makes this tool different from other tools in the market? This is can't say yet. I know what it is, but it is not easy to kind of put it in words. Why and how? There is sometimes there's this belief that the creator of the idea gets, and the user experience is going to be key. UX is the differentiator. User experience in terms of ease with which tasks are created, managed, and so on. Will the user be able to assign hours on each task for a resource? Yes, may not be in the prototype. So prototype may be much more leaner. It does the core things, and then we get into the other one. Will there be a time management too? Yes, there will be. So things like reminder, calendar, time management, looking at a task in amount of time taken, needed for it, and so on. I think absolutely yes, all this will be there. But again, like I said, may not be in prototype. I think that's the thing, that's the main questions that have come up and I've answered. So let's meet up in the next session. Will it access the phone contacts? Will it? I'll just take the last few questions, Stephen. Let's see the phone contacts. Same thing. But may not be in prototype. So a lot of these features will come in the next versions. Karthik, can we use Selenium for mobile testing? Absolutely. Didn't know much about APM. I think with using Selenium and APM together, I mean, APM is nothing but the Selenium type framework that is created for mobile apps. I think you'll be able to learn APM easily through this. What is the Selenium framework going to be? What is the Selenium framework going to be? That I will leave it to you, team, to decide what you want the framework to be. Will we be in an agile team and use agile methodology? Absolutely, yes. That is for sure. Because if you look at the requirements, the way it is coming is each requirement will get clear as we keep going along. All right. Will we be in an agile team? Absolutely, yes. There's no difference between absolutely yes and yes. Yes is a yes, no is a no. All right, team, that's it from my side for today. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. I'll see you back in the next one. For those of you who are still somewhere in the decision mode, I think it's high time to do it quickly. And Sakib, we'll need to talk about this coordination a little bit offline, and we'll take it there. Thank you, everyone.
Okay,
Take
Karthik.
care. Bye now.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sakib. Thank you all. Bye.